So I've been going through Twitter and reading some threads about how people find being on camera to be a lot more nerve-wracking than they thought it would be. People think that talking on camera is a lot easier than it would be to talk to strangers in real life. And it definitely is, but I feel like that implies that there shouldn't be any fear whatsoever when talking on camera. And for me, and for most people probably, it's a little uncomfortable at first, since when you're talking to a camera, there's no one there to talk back to you, so it feels pretty weird just to be talking to yourself. And that gets better with practice. But there are things that you can do if you feel like your fear of being on camera is preventing you from being able to film yourself or record yourself for any reason. If you're comfortable with talking in front of a group of people, just know that being on camera is different because there isn't that immediate feedback situation. So what you can do about this is just read aloud or talk to an empty room when you're alone by yourself. I know that seems kind of strange and you might think, why would that help in any way? But if you try doing it and you think, okay, this is kind of weird, then talking in front of a camera will be a lot more uncomfortable if you're not even comfortable doing that. Another thing that I would recommend is having a conversation with a friend or a family member while you're on camera. That way you do get the immediate feedback of a physical person while also knowing that you are being recorded. And as you become more comfortable with that, gradually you can move to just talking on camera by yourself. Another thing you can do is while you're recording yourself, just read aloud from a book or a journal. This is also pretty simple, but it's a lot easier than just saying what's on your mind. Even if you have your words scripted or outlined, it can still be really hard to do. So when you're just reading loud from the physical book, it can be a lot easier to know what you're gonna say rather than having to make it up on the spot. With any of these ideas, or if you come up with something else, just be aware that it should feel slightly uncomfortable at first, but as you slowly start to feel more comfortable with something, then that means that you can move up to something that's slightly more intimidating for you. And if you tried out those things and they didn't feel the slightest bit uncomfortable to you, then that probably means that being on camera and filming yourself just talking is the next step up. If you're still afraid of being on camera, then I would say that you probably need to start with something smaller until the thought of being on camera doesn't seem as intimidating as it once did. I am gradually getting better at being able to identify that feeling, but it is still pretty tricky for me.